Mr. President, with the addition of those three senators, the other co-sponsors on the amendment are Senators Murkowski, Senator Reed from Nevada, Senator Brownback, Senator Cantwell, Senator Wyden, Senator Cornyn, and Senator Corker. The amendment is simple. It preserves the existing authority of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission and the authority of the states to be sure that electricity and natural gas rates are just and reasonable, while at the same time leaving the Commodity Futures Trading Commission its full authority to police derivatives and futures markets. Let me say first that I applaud the good work Senator Dodd and Senator Shelby have done on this. I particularly applaud the provisions that have come from Senators Lincoln and Chambliss and the Agriculture Committee in setting up a system to get control of derivatives markets. I am, however, concerned that without this amendment, the law could be interpreted to allow the Commodity Futures Trading Commission to override the jurisdiction that Congress has given to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and that the new provisions included here could make this problem worse. There's probably not a sector of the economy that is more tightly regulated than the electricity industry. The natural gas industry is not far behind for a claim to that title. FERC regulates wholesale rates and transportation in interstate commerce for both electricity and gas, and must approve mergers of utilities. FERC also has authority to police the manipulation of electricity and gas markets that was granted by Congress in 2005 as a response to Enron's manipulation of electricity markets in the West. The states have that same authority for retail sales, both with regard to electricity and with regard to natural gas. There are tight rules for transactions among affiliates of holding companies in these industries. There are extensive transparency and reporting requirements for contracts and transactions, and this is all intended to be sure that the customers of utilities are getting what they're paying for and that they're paying rates that, in fact, are just and reasonable. Now, the concern has been that the exclusive jurisdiction of the CFTC under the Commodities Exchange Act could be interpreted to supersede the regulation by FERC of important aspects of these industries. And the amendment that I'm offering with my co-sponsors is a proposed solution that I believe is consistent with philosophy of consumer protection that underlies other parts of the bill that we're considering. The effect is simple. The amendment preserves the authority of both the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission and the individual states to ensure that electricity and natural gas rates are just and reasonable. And direct examination of prices is essential to each agency's mission. In FERC's case, this authority is long-standing. It was established over 70 years ago. Without this amendment, a critical check on energy prices could be lost, and this is so for two obvious reasons. First, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission's so-called exclusive jurisdiction could be interpreted to operate to prevent FERC and state public utility commissions from acting where their jurisdictions intersect the Commodity Futures Trading Commission's jurisdiction. And second, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission's regulatory mission differs significantly from that of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission and the state public utility commissions. Commodity Futures Trading Commission's mission is to protect market participants and to promote fair and orderly trading. It does not directly examine commodity prices in its markets, nor does it consider the reasonableness of rates. And while properly functioning futures markets are important, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission cannot duplicate the direct ratepayer protections that are provided by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission and by the state public utility commissions. There are some things that this amendment does not do that it has been charged with doing. First, it does not give FERC jurisdiction over futures or swaps or options. FERC has jurisdiction over rates for the sale of electricity and gas and contracts that are associated with those sales. Derivatives that are related are still jurisdictional to the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, and nothing changes in that regard. Since we're merely preserving that authority that the Federal Power Act and the Natural Gas Act gave to FERC decades ago. Second, the amendment does not give FERC jurisdiction over NYMEX or ICE or any other futures exchanges. They are not public utilities. They do not sell electricity or natural gas. As I've said, I support this bill. Generally, I believe that it is essential in ensuring that consumers are protected. However, both I and my co-sponsors on this amendment strongly believe it's necessary to preserve enduring consumer protections that might otherwise be lost. It is a simple, tailored amendment that does not create any loopholes in jurisdiction. It also does nothing to diminish the ability of the Commodities Futures Trading Commission to regulate commodity exchanges such as NYMEX, or to require public disclosure of swaps or any other authority they have to regulate the mechanics of commodity markets, including those that trade energy commodities. We've received letters of support for the amendment from the National Association of Regulatory Utility Commissioners, from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, from the utility industry companies and associations, including Edison Electric Institute, the American Public Power Association, the American Public Gas Association, the Electric Power Supply Association, the American Wind Energy Association, the California ISO, or Independent System Operator, the American Gas Association, the Large Public Power Council, the Natural Gas Supply Association, Compete, and PJM Interconnection. I'd also, I would like, Madam President, without objection, to introduce the letters of support that I've referred to following my statement in the record.